Corporate career responsibility is a call to all experts and consultants to give back their time, skills, knowledge, and expertise to mentor and nurture future industry leaders. Are you passionate in nurturing future industry leaders and professionals who will take enterprise to a higher level? Corporate Career Academy, together with Student TV, is giving you an opportunity to share your knowledge, skills, and mentor students and young professionals.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our session this afternoon. Today, we are privileged to have one of the best minds in the area of investment banking. We are talking to Victor Marangu. Victor Marangu is the head of sales at Standard Investment Bank, one of the best, one of the #1 investment banks in this country. Victor will be discussing the area of investment banking, what's expected of us. Sometimes it's difficult to understand what's the difference between an investment bank and a normal bank. So is Victor giving loans? He'll also be able to explain to us whether investment bankers are able to give loans and all that. My name is Livingston Makori. Welcome to the Corporate Career Academy, a platform where we want to empower the students and young professionals with knowledge and skills to succeed in the current world, in the corporate world. And in this session, we are focusing on investment banking. I want to take this time to appreciate those who have joined us. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more of these sessions and more of the previous sessions we have done. Again, we also want to appreciate the universities participating in this section. Just go to the chat, either through the YouTube or through the Facebook page, and be able to comment your name, your university. Just tell us where you are watching us from. Also, ask your questions should you have any question. So without much ado, I want to welcome Victor so that he can also tell us what I've not mentioned about him. He can also give us his career journey. One of the questions students asked me, with this course I'm doing, where will I be able to work? So Victor will also be able to tell you where the turning point came and what he's doing currently. So Victor, welcome to the Corporate Career Academy family. And may we know who we are speaking to and investment banking in general. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Livingston, and welcome everybody to this discussion. Looking forward to us learning from each other a lot. So my name is Victor Marangu. I'm currently working with Standard Investment Bank as head of sales and marketing. My career journey started, I trained as a chemical analyst. I did analytical chemistry, which I did not practice for so long. I practiced for about 6 months at Kengen, and then that is Kipevu too. So after a short while, I realized that this was not actually my calling. And because of routines, you could go to the plant, get the samples, run the analysis, and that's it. So I felt it was too much for me, and I was not getting the inspiration that I needed. So I quit and I started selling insurance, and everybody was very mad at me back at home. They thought now I had lost it, having gone to Mombasa to do all that kind of stuff and then start doing insurance. So people thought I was crazy. So I took insurance very seriously. I got to understand the insurance industry. As a regulatory requirement, we were to do what we call certificate of proficiency, which we did, a COP. The major papers that were required at that level, general insurance and life. I did that, and then I went deeper into asset management, trying to understand across the various investment insurance companies that I worked with. I started with Old Mutual. That is when I learned about asset management big time. Then went to Sanlam, to Pan Africa then. And then I transitioned to Britam. Basically, what happens in that industry is that they keep what I call the word poaching, which is illegal. They headhunt the best talent. So if you're doing very well in your area, they start looking for you. And that's how I found myself across those companies. So it doesn't matter what you studied in college. Let me assure you of that. In this time and error. What matters is you go to school to gain basic skills, how to interact with people and all that kind of stuff. You're exposed to various fields, because if you look at our 844 system, it's just to expose you to each and every sector. Yeah. And then, for example, now when you get to university or college or whatever, you're able now to understand, based on how well you made it, you select courses based on that. Most of us find ourselves doing courses because that is those are the subjects that you passed and all that kind of stuff. But what you're supposed to remember, please leave that one alone and look at the current market requirements in terms of jobs. I'm sure that what we have here mainly are accounting professionals, and students are pursuing accounting. So when you go to the job market, you're going to realize that what you studied in school, really, it will take you for the qualification, bachelor's degree. It can take you up to that level of shortlisting. But when it comes to the actual selections, other factors come into play. And this is where now things like soft skills and certifications come into place. So what I did in my personal journey, I decided to venture more into getting self-taught and also attending courses and seminars and taking online certifications, which I'm going to share with you. Personally, I chose to get into these online courses platforms like Udemy, Coursera, Udacity, Allison. Some of the courses are free and others you buy, and others cost you as little as 1,000 to be able to get into that course. Others will cost you as much as 50,000. Others will cost you more, depending on which area. So what you need to identify is your learning path, which you are going to look at through here. So what I did, having gone into financial services, I knew I needed to gain credibility from my employers, and also my clients. So I decided to pursue the Capital Markets and Securities Analyst certification offered by CFI. It's one body that actually has helped me in my financial services journey. The other one is Chartered Institute of Securities and Investments, called CC, where you can get to the chartered status based on what you're doing. So I didn't have that accounting background. I didn't have that financial background. But being an analyst, a chemical analyst, basically you do almost the same in terms of the principle-wise. So I came to apply that into financial services, and it has really worked. Kind of analysis, what are you looking at? Helping your investors select the best investment vehicles. And then, of course, there is a portfolio management team which does their work very well. And as a student, as a young professional, you can be able to pursue the various parts that are there. So I've been in this for the last 11 years, and recently I'm now working with our Standard Investment Bank, which I joined in the year 2020. That was last year, January 1st. That's when I started working here, and I've gained tremendous growth in this career. And you cannot do it alone. Teamwork is critical. Networking again is very critical, and that mindset of continuous learning. Continuous learning is very critical. So don't shy off and say, I've done this course, or you want to change your course when you are that year and you don't understand what is happening. Let me tell you, it doesn't matter what you studied in college. What matters is how you position yourself right now to be job ready, to be to make sense, to be relevant in the job market and what employers are looking for. So welcome everybody to the show. Let's continue to learn and get to understand. So investment banking, take you through investment banking and what investment banking does and what it is. It is a very interesting field, and why it would make a lot of sense to you as an accounting professional, and why you have a soft landing when you come to investment banking, having a background in finance and accounting. So it makes it very easy for you. I'm going to show you the career path and the various areas that you can venture into to be able to participate. So investment banking actually participates in four major activities, investment banking activities. One is capital markets. And by capital markets, I mean, this is why this buying and selling of shares, what you call the equity capital markets. You enable companies go public by raising additional capital to expand their operations. And then there's the debt capital markets, where we deal with bonds, government bonds, or fixed income. Then the next activity for investment banking is trading and stock brokerage. So trading basically involves can be proprietary trading, where the bank trades on it with its own money, and also brokerage, whereby you're able now to trade on behalf of the investors who have entrusted you with the funds. The other one is advisory, where we do mergers and acquisitions. We help, for example, give you just examples. For example, NIC Bank and CBA merged to form NCBA. National Bank was taken by by KCB. Jamii Bora was taken up by Cooperative Bank. Those are examples of advisory in terms of mergers and acquisition. And advisory, still, there is what you call restructuring, whereby companies may go belly up, and to avoid going belly up in terms of getting into solvency, it's about restructuring their balance sheets, and investment bankers help such companies restructure their balance sheets. Maybe they are overwhelmed with interest payment, maybe servicing a debt, and then they have cash flow problems. So investment banks enable such companies to restructure, and instead of going bankrupt, you do a private arrangement. And of course, the creditors prefer private arrangement because it is done faster, and the transactions are able to be conducted in a more professional manner. So the other area is asset management. This is whereby we are able now to engage investors, take their money, take them through financial planning, understand the investment objectives, and then recommend the best investment vehicles they can take to be able to achieve the investment objectives. And there are three major players in that division of investment banking for called asset management. We have the sales force, or the financial advisory team, that generates relationships or reach out all interests the potential investors with the products that we have at for example, at Standard Investment Bank. They create a relationship. They understand the investor journey. They understand the investment objectives of that particular investor. And then once that money, as the investor has sent the money, it is now the responsibility of the portfolio manager to be able to allocate those resources into various asset classes to be able to generate returns that are relevant to the investor to enable them achieve the investment objective. Also, the research team actually gives the technical and fundamental analysis research to the portfolio manager to be able to make well-informed investment decisions that match with the investor profiles in terms of risk and the financial objectives. So basically, those are the four major areas we play for investment banking. Makori?
Probably now we can be able to look at what are the opportunities, because most of the people are looking at, yes, you have mentioned very nice areas. Now look at what are the opportunities what is the career journey. Why, if I want to work as an investment banker, what do I look at? So that even the parents, students who are here can also see opportunities in investment banking.
Super. So to prep you into a career in investment banking, you need certain competencies. For example, there are certain certifications that you're supposed to undertake besides your bachelor's degree or your CPA-K. There are so many other certifications that you require based on the career path. So what I'm going to share here is a career map for investment banking. I'm going to show you what other areas that you can be able to venture into investment banking. And basically, there are 14 career paths that you can pursue. 14 career paths that you can pursue to become an investment banker. So under institutions, the section that serves institutions, you can start with private equity. You can see the compensation is quite huge. Private equity is whereby companies are able to raise capital from private investors. These are offers that are not made in public, of course. They are not made in public. They are not also offered only to accredited investors. So you can see the compensation is quite huge for private equity. Workload is still very high. You find yourself working 100 hours. Yeah. And then very stiff competition for those roles. Yeah. Quantitative skills are still on the high end in terms of soft skills as well. How do you interact with people, things to do with emotional intelligence, yeah, your networking skills, because those all add up. I'm going to share with you the various course recommendations, and there's one recommended program here is Financial Modeling and Valuation Analyst, or the FMVA certification offered by Corporate Finance Institute. This is their page that we are using right now. So this is a recommended program. So you can write it down and pursue it. So Financial Modeling and Valuation Analyst, the FMVA certification. So when you finish that one, you'll be able to use those initials, FMVA, after your name. Livingston, Macquarie, MBA, FMVA. So the market will understand, the recruiters will understand that you have the recommended skills to be able to fit in that one. So the other one is a portfolio manager. Yeah, you can see the compensation, not as high as not for the private equity, but you can see it is still on the high end. Another workload again, competition is stiff. You require more quantitative skills and soft skills. And this is one that I've done, the Capital Markets and Securities Analyst, the CMSA certification. Okay, so that's the recommended program. If you haven't done that one, I highly recommend you take this one. That's another career path that you can take. So don't sit there and think that there are no opportunities or there are no career opportunities. It's about how you position yourself. What is your skill set? Because that is what a potential employer is looking for. For example, right now at SIB, we are looking for FX trader, foreign exchange trader. If you go to our website, sib.co.ke, you'll be able to see this. You'll be able to apply and go with it. So I wish you all the best. I'm just pointing you to where there is an opportunity. The other section is research. You can get into research, yeah, and you can see the composition there is still quite good. The other learning path, the career path, is on corporate development. I'll be able to elaborate all those. I'll share links with you for be able to understand what this one all means under corporate development. The other career path is treasury. You can see the composition is not as high as, but you can see the quantitative skills are quite a number. Business intelligence or BI, good composition. Crazy quantitative skills are required there and soft skills. Financial planning and advisory again, yeah. Valuations, the course requirement there, of course, you have to do the FMVA certification, Financial Modeling and Valuation Analyst, yeah. So for treasury, the course recommendation is, sorry guys, the course recommendation, my cursor is dancing. You do Commercial Banking and Credit Analyst certification, and then Capital Markets and Securities Analyst. That is worth noting. You can take note of that. Commercial Banking and Credit Analyst, CBCA certification, Capital Markets and Securities Analyst. Yeah. So, and evaluation, there is that particular course that is coming up again and again, FMVA certification. So there is the side of due diligence. On due diligence, you do the FMVA certification again. In terms of commercial banking, you do the CBCA certification, certified. So you do the FMVA certification. That's the recommended program. So this under commercial banking, the Commercial Banking and Credit Analyst certification, the CBCA. All these courses are available under CFI, and that is one area that I've used to actually gain my my expertise. So on investment banking, you can see investment banking is quite intensive. Investment banking is quite intensive. Sorry. Look at that. Very high competition, huge workload. The competition is cutthroat. Yeah. Quantitative skills and soft skills. And this is the recommended course, Financial Modeling and Valuation. So in as much as we are separating this as investment banking, all these other courses play under investment banking. transaction advisory, valuations, due diligence, commercial banking, consulting. So these are the major career paths. I'll be able to share this link with you, and then you'll be able to look at it. So there is the banks, that is the sell side, institutions, the buy side, corporates, the issuers, and of course, public accounting firms can be able to get such jobs. So these are the job titles under finance, banking, and accounting. Yeah. So they are classified. The first one is under capital markets. The capital markets job titles, you have sales and trading. You can become an institution, fixed income sales trader, equity derivatives market specialist, fixed income sales. You can see when you thought there are no opportunities, this is a lot. And of course, you have to have so many skills. You have to be multi-skilled to be able to do all of them. Yeah, like almost all of them. Production, equity sales trader, investment specialist. Yeah. Then equity research, you can be an equity analyst, financial reporting specialist, portfolio manager, private equity associate, that's internship, acquisitions associate for M&A deals. And then investment banking or private equity, you can be an associate, an analyst, a vice president, or the VP, director, or the MD, depending on your experience and the level of expertise. So banking job titles, all these are available to you as an accountant. All you need to do is do a certification to be able to match with that job requirement. You can be assistant branch manager, anti-money laundering compliance specialist, yeah, branch manager, account operations specialist, check processing supervisor, commercial loan manager, commercial loan processor. These are all examples of jobs, job titles that await you once you finish what you're doing and get the right certification. Yeah, so I'm going to give you the list of certifications. You can see the jobs there are endless, guys. Yeah, including teller. Yeah, so treasury job titles: group treasurer, SVP, senior vice president and vice president of treasury, corporate treasurer, treasurer end of treasury and risk. Yeah, so all these are opportunities for you guys. Accounting, these are accounting jobs. Being in the accounting industry and the field and the academy, you understand this is what you'll be looking at. A bidding analyst, controller, finance manager, can be a CFO, yeah, a chief investment officer, depending on which line you want to pursue. And tax planning as well, tax advisory, tax accountant, tax rulings officer, yeah. So basically, that's it. So these are the various certifications that can land you a job in investment banking. And the first one is, these are the top 7. The first one is the Chartered Financial Analyst, the CFA. You do level 1, level 2, level 3. It is quite taxing, but for those guys who push and pursue through it, through the Chartered Financial Analyst Institute, the CFA program is quite intensive, quite rigorous, and it positions you at a very high level. You become an expert in a wide array of fields such as economics, portfolio management, investment banking, equity research and analysis. So you can work as an analyst, a financial analyst in an investment bank. And as I told you, financial analyst, you can access 14 career paths when you are a financial analyst. So when you do the CFA program, you're in. The other one is Certified Financial Planner, which is offered by the Certified Financial Planner Board of Standards. You do over 100 topics across insurance, retirement planning, estate planning, stocks, bonds, etc. And you do a 7-hour test. Yeah, a 7-hour test to be able to qualify for that one, and hopefully you're able to make it. And then the other CFP program is offered by Chartered Institute of Securities and Investment, where it's CFP now with an R, which is it's a trademark. I'll share as well the link for the CC. You'll be able to take that one as well. You become Chartered Financial Planner, which is a CFP. The other one is Financial Risk Manager, FRM. This is granted by the Global Association of Risk Professionals. You detailed coursework and a 2-part 8-hour test to be able to cover that. So you'll be able to work in banks as a risk analyst or a risk officer, and also help private clients make prudent investment decisions to mitigate risks. Yeah, these risks include credit risk, market risk, liquidity risk, among other risks. The other one is chartered alternative investment analysts, for professionals who want to build a career managing alternative investments or hedge funds. So this takes about 12 to 18 months to complete the coursework and sit for exams. Topics covered include risk management, asset allocation, hedge funds, private equity, and real assets. Of course, the CPA, the popular CPA, you can do all the way to CPA-K. I'm sure we have guys who have done with those who are working professionals and others who are doing it alongside their bachelors. So offered by American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, AICPA, and it targets professionals in finance and accounting industry. Highly valued in the modern workplace, is a representation of the highest level of methodology, competence, and accomplishment. So guys, knock yourself out, go for this, and be able to have it as a starting point. So the other one is Certified Management Accountant, Institute of Management Accountants. So structured in two parts: 11 financial competency tests. Finance professionals with the CMA certification, you get an opportunity to work on the corporate side of the business. Okay. Then there's Chartered Mutual Fund Controller. Yeah. So you'll be able to look at the job market. Right now, when you're equipping yourself with skills, what you need to look at is how are you able to fit in globally? Okay. Because now with the advent of work from home, remote teams, a company in the US can hire talent in Kenya, and you'll be able to work without necessarily having to move across the geographical divide to be able to get on the other side. So with work from home and all that, when you equip yourself with these kind of skills, you'll be able now to become more valuable in the modern marketplace. So I highly recommend that you look at these kind of certifications to give you the relevance in the market.
Thank you very much, Victor, for that wonderful information about investment banking. I know now it has been able, now we are able to get at least what happens in investment banking, what happens in, I think somebody is now prepared, and we just want to give room for questions. But before questions, we can just have some commercial break as we wait for the questions to come from our audience.
Corporate career responsibility is a call to all experts and consultants to give back their time, skills, knowledge, and expertise to mentor and nurture future industry leaders. Are you passionate in nurturing future industry leaders and professionals who will take enterprise to a higher level? Corporate Career Academy, together with Student TV, is giving you an opportunity to share your knowledge, skills, and mentor students and young professionals.
Yes, thank you very much. We want to appreciate those who have joined us for this discussion. And as we wait for questions, I want to start with the Brian Arwa. Brian Arwa from Kisii University, thank you very much for joining. Esbon Oyagi, thank you very much for joining. Amos Okinyi is saying he worked under you and I feel so glad to see you here. He's watching the program. Melvin Koech, welcome to our session and thank you for watching. We have Joy Amen, she's also watching from Karatina University. We have Wangari Milcent watching again also. She says it's very meritorious. I don't know what it means, but she's very appreciative of what we are doing here. Oigara is also watching. Nya from Kilgoris. We have Mburu Maina. Mburu Maina is our frequent follower watching again from Chuka University. We have Sarah Njeri, the University of Nairobi. Thank you very much, Sarah. We have Samuel Gachepa from Chuka University. Thank you very much for watching. We have Tryford, the Academic Secretary, Technical University of Kenya. Thank you very much for watching. Prudence is watching from Chuka University. Thank you very much. We have Stephen Kwaranda. As I wait for the questions, Ray Media Services, our official graphic designers watching from Meru. I can also see John Ouko Kelo watching. Who have I forgotten? Bristol also watching from Kisii University. Thank you very much for that. Maybe we can just give room for questions. But as we wait for questions, one thing I want to understand probably from our speaker, Mr. Victor, is what are some of the skills other than what you have shown as the professional skills that are required for somebody to succeed in this job market? So that one, Victor will be able to answer. What are some of the things employers are looking at other than the professional, maybe you are a chemical and analytical chemist. In any case, we expect you to be working in a lab somewhere. But now you are here talking about investment banking. What are some of the things employers look at before you can get this job as an investment banker, maybe?
Okay, soft skills are very critical. Your people skills, your networking skills, your collaborative skills, teamwork, your ability to work in a team context. And by collaborative, I mean you take up on a project and you're able to work hand in hand with the rest of the team, because you realize that this is not a one-man show. For example, when you're doing research, you need to collaborate with the rest of the team to be able to come up with conclusive information that can be used to make investment decisions. So things like emotional intelligence, how is your attitude basically? How do you react when bad things happen to you? Do you blame other people? Do you take ownership? Things like accountability. The other thing is open to learning. Are you that one person who just says, I'm MBA, I'm MSc, I'm BA, or whatever, and that you dismiss everything else and you think you know it all? So employers are looking for people who can be molded, who can be trained, who can be able to adopt to the company culture and be able to become part and parcel. Also, people are also very passionate about life. People are looking forward to the next day, to the next challenge, things like that. So LinkedIn Learning has quite a number of opportunities to be able to master the most in-demand skills. I want to share that with you right now to be able to see what I'm talking about. I want to share this screen and show you the most in-demand professional soft skills. I hope this is visible from your end, Makori.
Yes, we can see it. Yes, we can.
Yeah, so I would want everybody in this forum to be able to look at this course. It is available for free right now up to December 31st this year. So if you're on LinkedIn, just search for this one, download the LinkedIn Learning app on your phone and look at it. It will take you 9 hours to cover this. So these are the courses covered there. One is developing your emotional intelligence. Yeah. So maybe what does every hiring manager look for an employee? Set yourself apart from the pack by getting the essential soft skills, abilities that help people interact effectively with others, that employers value most, from communication fundamentals and being a team player to advancing your critical thinking skills. So build a solid process for achieving your goals and bouncing back from challenging situations. Learn to communicate, listen, and work well with the team members and peers. Think critically as a problem solver. Okay, so these are the major courses covered under this learning path. So develop your emotional intelligence, learn how to enhance your personal performance and build effective relationships at work by developing emotional intelligence. Yeah, and you can see the number of learners on that one, 845, almost 1 million. The next one is building resilience. Yeah, do you get beaten down very fast when things happen? And for example, during COVID-19, Kenyans are hardworking. The hustler mentality. It's in our DNA not to give up. Yeah, and you can see the way, by the way, even people share memes and all that for soft moments and everything. Even when things are very tough, guys can afford a laugh. Yeah, and you're able to move on away after that challenge. The other thing, embracing unexpected change. If something unexpected happens, what do? Improve how you deal with change in your professional and personal life. Learn how to put change in the proper context, create the right perspective, and become more resilient. Yeah. The other one is critical thinking for better judgment and decision making. Life is about decision making. So your corporate life and your personal life is about the decisions you make on a daily basis. Okay? So learn how to think critically, learn how to use critical thinking, avoid fallacies, spot biases, craft better arguments, hold judgment, and improve decision making. Then the other thing is why trust matters as a candidate. Can you be trusted? Do you project yourself as someone who can be trusted? Because when you're being told to run a portfolio, become a portfolio manager, you're being trusted with so many things. So many people, a lot of wealth can be in jeopardy if you're another person who cannot be trusted and you run funny programs that are not beneficial. So explore a way to identify and address trust issues in your personal and professional life. The other is teamwork foundations. Learn the qualities of effective teams and the role you as a team member play in creating a healthy, productive team. Okay. Communication foundations. I know this is a common university course. Now, I want you to leave that one a bit. Go take this one as well. Okay. Don't say I did that one as well. So many things keep changing. Build your communication skills. Learn how to communicate more effectively in professional situations, including meetings, email, and presentations. Because you ought to communicate and you ought to be a good communicator, especially when you're dealing with numbers. You have to communicate these numbers in the most basic way that people can understand, yeah, and digest that information. Effective listening, communication experts, these two help you assess your listening skills and develop more effective listening behaviors, yeah. So there's a reason as to why we were created with one mouth and two ears, so that we can talk less than we listen. We listen more than we talk. Okay. So persuading others, of course, salesmanship comes in here. You have to ensure that your ideas get a fair hearing by cultivating your persuasion skills. Discover how to establish credibility and how to make it easier for people to respond with a yes. Okay. Writing in plain language, that's another skill you need. Learn to write in plain language and help your readers understand and act on your documents and content. Of course, banish your inner critic to unleash creativity. Don't be that person who has self-limiting beliefs, yeah, that have no foundation whatsoever. Express yourself in most creative self-minus the fear and self-doubt. Learn how to banish your inner critic to unleash maximum creativity. So that's it, Livingstone. Those are some of the most in-demand professional skills, soft skills that employers are currently looking for.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that one. And I want you to answer some questions which have now come from the audience. And I'll start with Austin. Austin is asking, I hope you can see the question. Why is financial modeling highly recommended for one to be a financial analyst? Last question, is certification from Coursera done online recommended in the job market in Kenya? Maybe you can answer those.
Yeah. Financial modeling is very critical because it cuts across the various sectors. For example, mergers and acquisitions. If a company wants to acquire another company, what information do they use to be able to make that decision? So those financial models have to be created. You have to look at, for example, the cash flow projections and get to understand whether this business is viable or not. So as a financial analyst, financial modeling is very critical. Actually, financial modeling and valuation. So courses from Coursera, they are supposed to enhance. One thing you need to understand, some of the courses you do, not because they are recognized. You're doing it because you know it is going to build onto your personal skills arsenal in how you even answer those interview questions. Okay? So if they say a bachelor's degree, they don't take anybody with a bachelor's degree. When everybody has been shortlisted on bachelor's degree, there are other parameters that are looked at to be able to. So you can do short courses from Coursera, Udemy, and all that kind of stuff. And even when you add them on your resume, it will show your employer, your potential employer, that you are one person who has got a thirst for knowledge and is open to learning. That's a very important attribute to have any candidate that you want to get as an employer. So it's very important. Don't do it on the basis that it must be recognized. So what Coursera is doing is partnering with major universities to be able to create a micro landing pads to getting the actual degree. But as a working professional or as a student who want to come into the job market without looking like you have no idea, because shock on most of us, when you move from college and go to the job market, you realize that it's like you don't even know anything. Yeah, it's like you don't know anything at all. But when you do these more courses, like I personally follow various certifications, yeah, from university, Chartered Institute of Securities and Investments, Corporate Finance Institute, and from my marketing side, I'm doing what you call this bit on, for example, the American Marketing Association as well. Yeah. And then just a minute, CIM, you become a CIM member when you do the Chartered Institute of Marketing to become a ACIM. Sorry, that is what I was looking for. Then there is a bit on ACI, yeah, where you become a dealer. Yeah. So those courses are very critical, even if they are not accredited. Don't only chase the accredited courses. Go for courses that add value to you at the end of the day, not only what you feel that, because when you have done your degree or when you've done your master's or PhD, when shortlisting is being done, why do certain guys get picked up and not the other guys? It is the competitive advantage. You gain a competitive edge when you have done more than everybody else has done. The competition is very stiff. For example, for financial analysts, you saw that for investment banking, cutthroat competition. So, Augustine Muya, it's important. It's important to be able to do those small short courses, but financial modeling actually sits at the heart of investment banking, because from mergers and acquisitions, from even doing IPOs, when you're doing fundamental analysis, you require that as well. Thank you. Early in this week, I've seen a group of officials launching a new derivative in the stock exchange market. How is the progress of investments in Africa as compared to other continents? So, Patrick Ndolo, what I can say is that we are in the development phase to catch up with the rest of the developed world, other major world financial centers. And the good thing is that by use of technology, we are able to take part in other well-developed markets. For example, at SIB, we have the global markets division, whereby we're able to trade across the major financial centers from New York Stock Exchange, London Stock Exchange, Euronext, Hong Kong Stock Exchange, and then the Japanese Stock Exchange as well. We're able to participate in all those. So the derivatives market as well is very critical in enhancing the portfolio performance and also hedging against risks. To be able to protect the returns of a particular fund and be able to protect the investor against the downside risk. So derivatives, of course, yes, are very critical. And the progress in terms of investments in Africa, we are making inroads, and I think we are leading the way at SIB in terms of how investments are looked at, from traditional to emerging and alternative investment solutions that are available to the Kenyan investors. Good question, Patrick.
Thank you very much, Patrick, for the question. Joski from University of Nairobi, thank you very much for joining us. Now, maybe a question I want to ask that what do you think, what do you wish you learned when you were in college today?
I wish I was trained on personal financial planning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because those are some of the things you are never taught in school. You even find accountants struggling with doing their own personal budget. Yeah, because you are never taught that as a module of personal financial planning. You find a CFO struggling with personal finances. So I wish these things, I learned them early enough. I wish these soft skills were made mandatory common university courses so that we grow. For example, entrepreneurship was brought in, and I think it did very well. Things like communication skills, but it needs a lot of enhancement as well. So those are some of the things that I wish I learned earlier, things that I'm doing right now. For example, whatever the courses I'm pursuing, like capital markets and securities analyst, chartered wealth manager status. If this one started, for example, in the UK, things like in securities and investments, these are done at from 3 level. Yeah. So here in Kenya, if our curriculum guys decide now to maybe embed those most in-demand courses in our learning curriculum, I think we'll be better off.
So if you meet a graduate today, what will you be looking at from a graduate coming from any institution of learning? What do you look at, you as Victor? Because I know you are a recruiter, you are a coach. Now, what do you look at? Yeah.
So when I'm recruiting, if someone is just coming from college purely, they literally maybe have very little to showcase in terms of what they've been doing. But I'll be interested in getting to know what other courses they have been pursuing and what is their driving, what is their passion. I want to understand what their passion is, because I'm looking for someone who is a team player, someone who is willing to learn, someone who can take on challenges, yeah, without complaining and laying blame. Because what happens most of the time is that there is that element of frustration with a graduate when they are not getting a job because they feel they have already done too much. You have barely scratched the surface after just graduating. You barely scratched the surface. So go out there with a mindset of, I've now just started learning. When you graduate, just know now you've started learning. And it's about now pursuing the right career. So when I'm looking at someone who I want to bring in my team, for example, in my team, sales and marketing, I'm looking at, are they a people person? And you don't need to be an extrovert, of course, to be able to make it in my roles or in this career. All you need is how do you interact with other people? Do you have meaningful conversations? Those meaningful conversations, someone who would want to interact with you, you add value. So research, you conduct research. What does your intended audience want? You do enough research to be able to deliver that exactly to them. So those are some of the things. You're a fast learner, you're a lifelong learner, you believe in continuous learning, and that's why we have most of the professional bodies. They require what we call the CPD or the CPE, continuous professional education or continuous professional development, which you're able to do and cover the number of hours that you need. Even in the medical field, fraternity, there is what continuous medical education. So those CPDs are very critical because they act like refresher courses. So I'm looking at a candidate who is passionate, someone who knows what they want to achieve in life. They have a bigger picture of where they want to be. Because sometimes you ask someone, how much are you anticipating to earn? And then they start saying, depending on what you pay. That's so not forthcoming. You ought to have exactly what you want. You visualize what kind of neighborhood do you want to live in, what kind of car you want to drive, what kind of family you want to set up. Yeah, what kind of school do you want your kids to go? If you can visualize that, now even in the pursuit of your career, you will know exactly what kind of career will give you those kind of amounts of money that you want to earn and be able to get there. Thanks, Livingstone. Which book you do recommend us for us to read to enhance our skills based on investment banking? So there are so many books, quite a number of books, and one I'll share a number of links that you can be able to look at. Maybe if I show you my library, you'll be able to get an idea of what you need to look at. So I'm going to share this screen. Just a minute. Sorry, guys. I'm to share this screen with you to be able to see what books you'd actually look at, and they don't cost you much. All you just need is a Kindle account, Amazon Kindle, and then you can be able to get your books. So this is my library. There are some samples I've downloaded for future reading and everything. I hope this is visible to everybody. So in terms of investment banking, you can see things like financial statements, building 3 financial statements and understanding how they are connected. You'll be able to get that one as well. Equity markets and valuation and analysis. There are quite a number of books. I'll be able to share with Livingstone various book recommendations, and these will be sent to your emails or the mean of communication that you normally use. Corporate and project finance modeling. These are book recommendations. Mastering derivative markets, or about derivatives, currency market, quite a number of books, yeah. So bond and money markets, the ultimate investment banking guide, yeah. Key business analytics, KPIs. There is a forex trading, a complete forex trading library, yeah, by Anna Cooling. You can see quite a number there. So the list is endless. You don't read one book and say, I know everything. You read several books and then corroborate various concepts that came up from that, and then you practice as well. Yeah. Invest like Warren Buffett. That's another book. So you want modern portfolio management, very critical. Pioneering portfolio management. You can see there's so many books on portfolio management as well. The other books on selling. I'm heavy into selling. Of course, emotional intelligence, the EQ. Yeah, so basically for investment banking, those are the major books that you want to start with. Of course, you would want to learn Excel, master Excel big time, because you use a lot of Excel when you are doing modeling and valuation. Yeah, so if you want to take a notch higher, you can learn Python programming, so that you can be able to do data analysis. If you're doing research, you need to do a lot of that, this data analytics. Venture into the field of machine learning, artificial intelligence, and deep learning as well, so that you can be able to know the emerging trends and in terms of data analytics. To become a financial analyst who has background of data analytics will be very critical. Of course, microeconomics, you do economics as well. For capital markets, you have to understand the fundamentals, things like monetary policy, fiscal policy, the economic cycles, and how the markets are generally markets move. So that's just some book recommendations I would propose. I'll get a comprehensive list and share it with Livingstone, and then everybody will be able to participate in that as well. Thank you. Uma Lucy, for someone targeting to be a great auditor, in my opinion, what I would recommend, if you do that modeling and valuation as well, banking and credit analyst as well. So it's a collection of courses, not just one course. That's one I'll keep insisting. There's no one magic bullet to being all-rounded professional. So in auditing, you get to understand so many, you do several courses to add up to that, from financial modeling and valuation, which I showcased, I showed here. These are examples. Financial modeling, you have to do certified banking and credit analyst, capital markets and securities analyst, business intelligence as well. Yeah, so it's a collection of courses, not one particular course that you start with. But when you do modeling and valuation, you're able to understand those books of accounts, and because you are trying to audit, you are trying to see the movement. You're getting information and insights from these financial reports. Yeah, to know, was there fraud? If it's audit to gauge compliance, you're able to get those useful insights. Basically, data analytics as well is very critical. Yeah. So have you ever received bad advice during your journey of learning? I can say basically no, I've not received bad advice as well in my journey of learning, because in as much as, of course, Augustine, that's a good question. And sorry if you have received bad advice in your course of learning. Maybe someone told you to do accounting. That is where money is. And when you realize that there is no money there, of course there is money. It's about how you position yourself. So when you're taking advice, you also ought to take advice from various professionals, which the Corporate Career Academy is trying to do, bringing many experts for you now to draw insights. Don't imagine there is a manual written somewhere for you that you go and run with it without referring to anything. You have to use your intelligence as well. You have to use intelligence, although also your own research, to be able to validate what is being said by these experts as well. Thank you. James, in job market, you find that those experienced experts in their field are taken very fast rather than those learned with no experience. Why does this happen? So if you have no experience whatsoever, it is bad. Remember, the employer is in business and they have stakeholders who demand results. For example, if you are a listed company, they are looking at earnings per share. They are looking at the dividends they are going to get from their shares and all that kind of stuff. They want to look at their share performance. Now, if you bring in a rookie who has no experience in their job role, what is going to happen? First of all, the company has to incur costs in training and development. Okay? But when they take an experienced expert comes with all these things. They have the knowledge, they have gone through the courses and everything. They just start working immediately. And they are less costly because hiring is very expensive, especially if you get those people who are not. Now, how do you gain experience? You can get the expertise required. You may not have a lot of experience, but you have the expertise by doing these professional courses and all that kind of stuff. So it happens because the employer is looking at minimizing cost of hiring and also training and development, because training and development departments also gobble up a huge amount of money from companies, and it's a big headache. And that is why you find employers are very happy taking people who are self-starters, people who want to learn on their own, picking up self-paced learning and also mentorship and interacting with professionals who have done it and getting the exposure that is required. So you can intern and gain experience as well, James. You can do internship, voluntary jobs. You can do voluntary jobs, yeah, and be able to learn what is required. Thank you. So Joske Young, curious question here. Are the chartered public universities lagging behind with curriculum review and updates with a purpose to create niche for private institutions? Joske, that's a political one. So I would really bounce it back to you and have a look at, from public universities, who are the guys holding key positions? Look at the alumnus who hold the key positions, for example, in government and private institutions, and look at the ratios and tell me whether they are taking more guys from UON or they are taking more guys from these other private universities. But in the public interest, I can comfortably say that, of course, I don't think there is such ploy to create more opportunities for private institutions. But what you need to understand is that, what do those guys in private institutions do? Yeah, can I equip myself to be at the same level as well? So don't go into an interview with someone who has more short courses than you, and they are more responsive to interview questions than you, and think you're going to compete competitively. It's important to be able to look at what is the skill set. Can I satisfy that skill set? It's very critical. Paul Kamau, I'm a finance student and I have done a lot of Python. Where specifically can I apply it, please? If you've done a Python, you can do data analytics. Yeah, you can pursue the data analyst course using, you do data analysis using Python, visualizations. You see right now, there's a lot of data, but how is that data organized to communicate? That is one thing now you can sell. Can I organize this data to communicate to my intended market? Because if you just have data in Excel, it is not communicating. You're not showing anything. Someone cannot draw insights from that. So I'm happy that you've pursued Python programming. You can also look at other programming languages and how they come into play. So with Python programming, you can pursue a data analyst certification. You do data analyst and become a data analyst. How frequent should be professionally be reviewed for market demands? All I can say, I'm not an expert in curriculum development, but using my due diligence, I think it should be reviewed continuously to reflect the demand in the job market. It should be a continuous job. And I think there are some guys who lag behind in doing that. Thanks, Joske. What threat, if any, is posed by technology to business-related courses? Can we mitigate against these threats? One thing I can tell you, Joske, is that there are some jobs that will become obsolete. And the total number of jobs that will become obsolete will also be, sorry, let me finish. They will be replaced as well by other courses. So what you need to do is scale up. By scale up, I mean SKIL. So you scale up to be able to take advantage of the new jobs that will come. Okay. If you could allow me, I could show you something here on courses that will be replaced. So digitization is a good thing. Yeah. So what you need to do, if, for example, QuickBooks, anybody can learn QuickBooks and start doing stuff with it, even if you don't have an accounting background. I think you feel that as a threat, right? Yeah, it's a threat. So there is need to scale up. I want to show you some of the courses that jobs will go as well. Enough jobs will be created, and this is not far. By 2025, there will be a huge there will be a huge shift. Yeah. So I want to get that document and show you guys what I mean by jobs that will be relevant at that particular time. So it should be right here. I want to share this screen to show you the most in-demand job skills that you can take advantage of. And the good thing is that these courses are free for you to be able to take. Yeah. So learn relevant skills for jobs in demand. Start developing your skills for free with the learning paths from LinkedIn Learning, Microsoft Learn, and GitHub as well. So this offer is actually available to December 31st for you guys to take advantage of. So these 10 jobs were identified as having the greatest number of job openings, have had steady growth over the past 4 years, pay livable wage, and require skills that can be learned online. Okay, 1, software developer. Sales representative, you can see 22.7 million jobs for software developer the last 4 years. 22.7 million jobs. Sales representative, 17.8 million jobs. Yeah. Project manager, IT administrator. Yeah. These are jobs that are secure. Okay. Manage system, subscription, configuration. Then customer service specialist, digital marketer, IT support help desk, data analyst. Our guy who is doing Python, look at this. You can take this course as well. Yeah. Financial analyst. So your job is so secure. If you're in accounting, look at this. Financial analyst, data analyst. Those are 2 major areas. Okay. And then, of course, project manager, project management, IT administration. You can be able to take advantage of that. So don't be worried, because as jobs are being deemed obsolete, other jobs are being created. So what you need to do is skill up for the new jobs that are coming and are in demand. There is an upsurge for guys who know how to code. Yeah, coding. Yeah. We are talking about artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, deep learning. Yeah. Those are the courses that are in demand. And when you do careful, a simple Google search, you'll be able to see most in demand jobs and those that are getting obsolete with time. So don't feel threatened. The opportunities are there for guys who are already open to continuous learning. Any other question? Livingston?
Maybe if you can give us your parting shot as we finish the discussion. Thank you very much. That's been well received. Maybe what will be your final remarks?
All I can say, guys, you've made a good step in having taken the accounting line, and you can see even other emerging careers, they require those skills. Those skills are required. All you need to do is just align yourself with the market. First of all, you have to start with yourself as a person. What do you want in life? Once you answer that question, an example, when some people ask what they want in life, I would want to elaborate this in terms of what is your dream net worth? How much do you want to be worth? Where do you want to live? Where do you want to take your kids to school? The kind of networks, the kind of clubs you want to join, the kind of car you want to drive. Where do you want to retire? Okay, and you want to retire doing what? And how do you intend to give back to the community? Once you got that figured out, then you explore. There are various pathways to be able to learn and apply and get to understand, so that you'll be able to know when I'm doing this is something I'm passionate about. Because I've seen some guys who are working, they're saying it's only that I don't have anything else I can be doing right now. Yeah, and that is why people lose focus. But when you're doing something you're passionate about, like personally, I'm very passionate about sales and marketing. Anything to do with sales and marketing, because I normally say it doesn't matter what you sell, but how you sell. And therefore, I've pursued so many selling certifications as well, so many courses to be able to become very good at what I do. So as an accountant, you can get into a data analyst or data scientist. You can become a financial analyst as well. You can become a portfolio manager. You can follow the investment banking career option as well, and be able to scale up. The secret is continuous learning and development. Do not stop learning. And always seek a mentor, create a PLN, what you call the personal learning network. People you learn from. And these are people who have done it, people who have delivered the results, and people who have actually done something. You can see not just talking, but you can see results of what they have done in their field. And then you create that personal learning network, and you continuously improve yourself. Thank you so much.
Wow, there's a burning question here which I want you to answer as we close, and he's saying very important. So just Cliff Kagada is asking, maybe you could answer that question.
I'm an entrepreneurship student. Apart from being our own bosses, is there any other field in the job market that we can venture in the line of my career? Please, it's an inquiry. So as an entrepreneurship student, you're your own boss. Of course, you're looking for creating opportunities for other people as well. So as an entrepreneur in the job market, you can get into private equity. The job market, private equity will require entrepreneurs as well, to be able to look at ventures, also venture capital as well. You'll be looking for such kind of talent, because that's where you'll be able to analyze business ideas. Can they, do they make economic sense? You're able to evaluate ideas. You're able to look at concepts so that you can start from a seed capital or angel investing to venture capital series, and then private equity, and then going to the IPO level. There are so many other jobs out there apart from being your own boss. Of course, own boss is relative, because you are the boss. Your bosses are the people you are serving. Yeah, the customers. Those are your bosses. Those are the people that actually employ you. So when you look at the own boss aspect, being independent and doing things that the way you want, it is relative as well. So you need to look at the job market, even selling skills. You can see the jobs that they are in high demand. Yeah. So as an entrepreneur, you should be able to sell your concept. You should be able to sell your idea. So you can also partner with other institutions and also sell their products and become a sales and marketing specialist as well. Thanks, Cliff. Good question.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir, for creating your time to be with us today. The spirit of the Corporate Career Academy is to create a network where future market leaders, I call them market leaders because they lead these industries, are able to learn from what we are doing, to know what's expected of them in the future. And we also encourage the professionals to come, students to come and learn. I believe those who tuned in have been able to learn more about investment banking. Even me, who is not an investment banker, I see now I have some interest in investment banking. I'll probably be looking for you for more notes. Again, I've seen a gap in the curriculum. Probably when we discuss with the universities, there's something we can do, SBI can do with the universities. And I'll be looking with you, we find a way of getting this information go back to students. We really appreciate your time and for coming to share this with us. This is a weekend you are supposed to be relaxing with your family. But again, as we say, corporate career responsibility is as good as CSR. We're also giving back to society, giving forward. It's the culture of giving forward. Thank you very much for coming. We look forward to hosting you. Your show has really attracted a lot of attention. Next time we call you, maybe we can give you a specific topic. Thank you very much. For those who are watching us, thank you very much for coming to this session. The Corporate Career Academy is here to support you. Together, you are able to learn and understand what's happening in the corporate world, in the entrepreneurial world. We'll be introducing more sessions as demand comes in. We look forward to meeting your needs. Should you have a question, should you have an expert you feel to hear from, write to us, Corporate Career Academy KE at Gmail, Career Academy KE at gmail.com, or you can again send us a WhatsApp message on 0111445250, and then we'll be able to get this expert, we'll be able to organize. We are working with all universities. We appreciate all students and all professionals. All of us can learn from everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. We look forward to hosting you another time, hearing from you another time. And thank you for your comments. May God bless you and have a good night now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Livingston.
Okay.